Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Tuesday, September 7. And as you know, there's a US holiday and the volumes have been quite low since Friday through to Monday, and obviously they'll be closed except for the futures markets as such. But we'll just run through quickly, okay? So with the Russell here, we're looking at the market being at minor group 1, so that's 2,300. It's the 300 that's important. If we get a tested support here, then we'll be pushing further to the upside, which looks the case. Of course, we always see a little dance here first for that, so we'll be looking something like this here, if that's the 2,300. So we're still in this stage here for this. We still need this, this, and this, but let's just go into the tick chart and check on where we're up to with that particular pattern. It's not helping with the lower volume situation. Oh, not the tick chart. We've been using the hourly chart here. So we could address this as the first high above the level. It's a decent amount. This looks impulsive here, so it looks like it will sort of move up onto here when it's ready. And we still need this to push higher. So this here could count as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 because this is overlapping this first section here. So, but anyway, let's just see how the volume comes back in on the Wednesday at least. With the Nasdaq here, we've got this just conservatively with wave 4 here. Wave 4 could also be over here, which would also add another leg to the upside as 1 and 2, and then all of this is just the third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave. But we're looking at stocks at intermediate wave 3, so I'll leave it at this for the time being. So we're really focused on this move to the upside here. This is also where it's kind of important to have a look at the leading stocks that are moving to the upside, and especially counts that are quite clear. So Alphabet, Google has got a very clear count moving up, so I think that we should use that. Where Facebook has been a little bit sort of iffy, so even if you don't trade stocks and you trade this market or the S&P, it's good to know where the stocks are, because obviously they as a collective create that index. So I've got a few counts for this here, and later in the week, Thursday, Friday, we'll start to weed some of them out. But let's just move into them as I have been doing. So in a very conservative way, we could look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and finish in this little 5 waves. I don't think that's the case because wave 3 here is too short. So that leaves us with a count like this here, which looks quite good. So from wave 4 we've got 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 here. But once again, wave 3 is a little bit short compared to our yardstick of wave 1 here. That's not even there. That's just the length of that. Yeah, so that's too short compared to wave 1. So this is probably not the count either for this. So that's something that we can eliminate in due course. This one here is likely simply because we can look at this as wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here without breaking any Elliott rules. When I don't know the count, or the count's not that clear, or we've got a few counts, but the good thing about this is that all of these counts, they're all heading in the same direction. It's not like they're in opposite directions, so that makes life a little bit easier. But when I don't know the counts, I just kind of revert back to the trading levels, and we know that in this instance here, that we're entering group 2. Now it's taken a while, 65, 72 and 80. It's taken a while to establish support at this level. Probably doesn't mean much to you, but to me, like being able just to scrape itself in here is critical. And what it does do, it just separates the market being pulled back down to the next level lower here. So we're in group 2 now. We should stay in group 2. Obviously the volume's been low since Friday and Monday, and we've got the holiday today, so Wednesday we'll see. And when folks come back from the holidays, they markets tend to be positive when they come out of the gates. So yeah, the 16,000 is in sight at this point, and we'll just keep counting. On the tick chart, it's got the conservative count, which I think could be on the 4-hour chart. No, I think it's the one that's on this chart here, the 8-hour chart. I'll just go in and check on that just quickly. So we'll just bring in some more data. Yes, I've got wave 3 here and 4 here. So we need to pay attention to it. I've got it as wave 1 and 2 here, a little bit dodgy because I've got an extra little move in through here for this, and this also doesn't count very nicely as 5 here. I've sort of counting it from here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then I'll let you figure this out. 5 waves up to here with an ABC, but that could also looks like it's valid over there too because it's lower here than here. But still, it doesn't concern me too much at this point. I know that we're moving up. We talked about being long here yesterday. So that's all going sort of according to plan. We'll just continue to look at this count here, and this is where we can start to view these counts in line with some of the larger stocks that we look at daily. You know, looking at their counts. You know, the Googles, the Teslas, and so on. Okay, so let's have a look at the S&P. Now, for the S&P, I've got 2 counts. I've got this one, which is what I call my conservative count, and then I have one that will take us higher still. So we can just look at the other one now and again, but while we're sort of honing in here, we'll use our time in this space here, and also to compare these two stocks. So next week definitely will be looking at those leading stocks and seeing, you know, just try to pull them all together. It's not that they'll all sort of top together in a sense, you know, you've got leaders and followers, so we need to understand all of that. So with this one here, we're looking at from wave 4 to wave 1 here, and then back for wave 2, and then up to wave 3 here. So I want this wave 3 to be at least at the same length as wave 1. I've been harping on that for some time, and yeah, it's playing out. You know, this market just continues to creep to the upside. So yeah, that's sort of where we're at with this. So let's just continue to move in to the intraday. So as wave 1 and 2 here, then I've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then these have moved along a bit, so we can look at 3 and 4 here, and we could look at this up here. So it's a long way to go, but we just keep plodding along and moving this up here. As I mentioned yesterday, where we stand with this from this low to this high here, this is the 61.8%. So we'll just remain bullish as long as that's there. So we'll keep using something like this as we head higher into a possible high. So everybody will know at what point that the market would be viewed as bearish in Elliott terms. So that's helpful. Yeah, we can also look to, I think the 1-hour chart's the same as this, so that's not a big deal. But one of the things here though is that this 4,500, that's important, and the next level up is extremely important, which is subgroup 1 here, which is 10, 20 and 30, and you can see here that it's support now because it's just trying to take these highs out here. So the low volume over the last few days has been just sort of stalling the situation, but you can clearly see here now that this is a nice support, and that now we're working with the midpoint here, the 50 at this point. So we don't obviously have it as support yet, it's just arrived there, but what we'll be looking for in due course, or even with the futures market, to see this push up and eventually find that midpoint there, 50 as support. Once the 50 has got the support there between 500 and 600 here, once the 50's got the support, then it's likely that we push up to the 600 at that time, because the balance has changed at that point. And the pull at this point has changed. Pulling it back to this number, it will be pulled to that number because it's past the the balance point line here for that. But of course, when we're looking up here, we look up at group 2. So we basically, the 46 is important and the 47 is important. They get little tops and bottoms, but it's the 4650 that is more important to us. Or just as important, whichever, anyway, all important, because this 4650 is really the halfway between this one here. So if this is the market's bouncing around these two, it'll eventually find this as support, and this also enters minor group 2 at this point as well. So 65, 72 and 80 up here. So gaining support in here is also critical as well to the continued journey to the upside with all of that. And on the tick chart, I've got a different count, which is just more of a conservative count. I think 10,000 I think we're working on here. So in this case, we've got wave 1 here and 2 here, and this is our yardstick. So we wanted it to go up through to here, but so far we haven't made that journey yet because we've got, it's a little bit squashy here, but wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and we've got this wave 3 sitting there. All right, so this wave 3 is shorter than the length of this wave shorter than wave 1. So this is probably not the count, even though I've done a good job in terms of of counting it. We'll just have to view it differently, but at the same time, I just want to keep it going because just in case wave 3 is shorter, then we've got a good way of looking at it. Now, the second point here is that counting this across the top here is a little bit tricky. I've taken this particular count from the cash market, which is probably, I don't know, it's okay, but yeah, I mean, the main point here, though, really is that if I don't know the count, I'll revert back to the levels, and I can see that the 4530, the top of subgroup 1, is the support for this. So that's the main gist here. This is impulsive here. This looks corrective here. It's hard to get 5 waves out of that, but it's also hard to get 5 waves out of that as well. So we're probably in some sort of triangle pattern here. So it wouldn't surprise me if wave 4 needs to go over here as an E wave over here. So an A, B, C, D, and E over here. But let's just observe this here as wave. Obviously, this can pull back 50 or 60%, so we'll just keep an eye on that as well. So we obviously expect a reaction once we arrive here. So yeah, alrighty. Well, that's it for the indices. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.